So it seems like a lot of young men like relate well to Trump. So it's like just like how the fighters kind of relate to him tonight.
Well, if you saw the election, the entire country relates with Trump right now. When all the swing states, the only states she won were the ones that you didn't need ID to vote in. It would have been interesting if you needed ID, how that would have played out too. I think that the whole country, it feels like somebody hit the reset button. So I've had this philosophy for the last 5 years that traditional media is dead, and it doesn't hold the influence that it used to hold. The two most hated people in this world right now are the media and the politicians. Nobody trusts them, and nobody believes them. And the true influence right now is with these kids that are on the internet, and they're called influencers. So I've been creating relationships with these people over the last, like I said, 4 or 5 years. And this election was won on the internet.
Dana.
The way Power Slap was built is the way this election was won. And the Hispanic vote was incredibly powerful. The male black vote and the youth. The youth all came out.
And unfortunately for the left, they don't have any bench. There's nobody they can go to. They had Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was a Democrat. You chased him away. And then, now we know they're saying the same stuff over and over and over in the media. I'll get to that in a little bit. But there's no reason to think that things are going to change. I'm not a young influencer, but I have a decent-sized audience, and we're pushing Trump, and we're pushing America first. And people are starting to listen. People are starting to watch. I keep getting in those rankings. I'm like, oh, so I got eyeballs on me, huh? You guys up here, you know what's coming with the Section 230 regulation. Once they take the handcuffs of censorship off of people, the Democrats will never catch up. Never. The influencers that they have, nobody wants to listen to. You just saw it. Not Beyonce, not Megan Thee Stallion, not Cardi B. Nobody cares about you people. You don't have the influence you thought you did. Maybe for makeup. Maybe they like your songs. I can dance to it. Taylor Swift, her ticket sales are dropping. You pissed everybody off. You're a billionaire. You got tons of money, so it's not going to affect you, but you don't have any influence in the election. Why is that? Well, because you picked the wrong horse, or two of them. Well, one of them likes horse milkshakes. But anyway, that side, you had the wrong candidate. So now you'd think that the Democrats would say, you know what, we need a younger, more vibrant person to maybe pull these people back away from Rogan and stuff. Nope, they're going to keep doing the same shit. I'm going to show you. They don't have no way of stopping. And Dana White was so right. Aiden Ross, Joe Rogan, he's not that young, but he's younger and he's more, how can I say this, testosterone laden than Timmy Waltz, your vice presidential candidate. But you're losing big and you're losing fast. I mean, when I say losing, you are starting to lose a lot of people. I made a video. It was like probably my third Trump video, third or fourth, back in March of 2024. And I titled the video, Charles Barkley Wants to Punch Me in the Face. Because Charles Barkley said some stupid shit back in March. And I called him out on it. I didn't even have any numbers. I'm like, wow, that video just did 400,000 people. So I guess there's people who feel like me that Charles Barkley can kiss my behind. If I feel like following Trump, if I feel like supporting and donating and trying to get Trump elected, you can kiss my patootie. I don't care what you say, Charles. You ain't got it like that. And now Charles is figuring out he didn't have it like that.
And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. You know, they do shirts.
When you heard that, what did you think? Big sigh.
First of all, I'm just going to say this. if I see a black person walking around with Trump mugshot, I'm gonna punch him in the face.
Charles.
I know, Gail.
Charles.
Gail.
You really can't say that because A, you don't mean that.
Oh, I mean that sincerely. I'm gonna just tell you something.
And then you will be arrested for assault. And then what?
I'm gonna bail
Then
myself out and go celebrate. If I
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. Okay, but go ahead.
Seriously.
Continue.
First of all, if I was at that.
By the way, this show with Gayle King and Charles Barkley on CNN got canceled after like 3 or 4 weeks. Done. Go away, Charles. Nobody wants to hear you. Your messaging backfired not only against Trump, but against yourself as well.
At that conference,
I'd have got up and walked out. That was an insult to all black people. Because he basically just saying, and first of all, to compare black history where we've been discriminated against to his plight.
Yes.
Well, first of all, he's a billionaire. And they're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. They're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. And for him to compare...
Still in the court system, Charles. We have to wait. It's still in the court system. But continue.
Well, some of the stuff is true. They did storm the Capitol. They did say that the election was stolen. Those aren't lies, Gail.
Yeah.
Those are
They
facts.
did say that. They did say that.
But to compare, I would have got up and walked out because it's not a fair comparison. You know, he's a billionaire. He's had a great life. He's been president of the United States. To insult black people who have been discriminated against all these years, to put them in the same category, I was just offended.
A few moments later.
And I just want to say this to the Democrats, which I'm an independent who voted Democratic. Do me this favor. Shut the up. When you win, you get to say what you want to. When you lose, you need to shut the hell up. Oh, President Biden they didn't get him out the race soon enough. Kamala didn't do this. We lost because we had no game plan.
What do you know, Chucky? You lost. Now, the only credit I will give Chuck here, the only shake his hand and say you're a man, is because he's doing something the Democrats aren't doing. You know, his athletic background, despite his ignorance in March, his athletic background, as I've told you many times with mine and in looking at this race, is you have to begin looking and do your postmortem, the autopsy, and go, okay, we need to fix this before the next game. This is what happened. Let's fix this. He's recognizing this. He's like, y'all ain't got no message. You're never going to win.
We still haven't solved the immigration problem, have no viable answers, never addressed inflation, bringing all these stupid stars out to rally the vote.
But the problem is, Charles, and with everybody now who's speaking out, why didn't you speak out? I'm glad you didn't, but why didn't you speak out then? When you saw all these stars coming out, and you saw Bon Jovi who can't sing anymore, and you saw Bruce Springsteen who can't sing anymore, and you saw Tay-Tay, why didn't you go, hey man, psst, this shit ain't gonna work? You know, I've seen this, I'm helping you with your game plan, this isn't going to work. See, I'm glad that whoever was running Kamala's campaign was so brain dead, because a lot of us sat back and went, I don't care what these people have to say. You're going to pay them how much? But Charles now is trying to do the postmortem and saying, hey, listen, this wasn't going to work.
What was that? Hey, I love Beyonce. What's bringing her out? That ain't going to make me vote a certain way. Cardi B. I like Cardi B. That ain't going to make me vote a certain type of way. You guys lost because y'all stupid.
Notice the words he said. There were only two candidates. There was Donald Trump and there was Kamala Harris. Charles is saying, y'all lost because you're stupid. Beyonce isn't going to make me vote. Cardi B wasn't going to make me vote. Y'all lost. So if you're saying they lost, who did you vote for, Charles? Are you trying to tell us, is it a soft disclosure? Are you letting us know, hey man, I had to vote for Trump? Because, I know I just watched football today. I watched Notre Dame yesterday, and I refer to Notre Dame as my team. We won. We had a great game against Virginia. We kicked Virginia's butt. We won. See, sports fans talk about it that way. Hey, my team won today. We won. We beat so-and-so. So when you hear a sports person says, y'all lost, that's not a mistake. That is not a mistake at all in language. That is someone saying, I'm not on that team. Y'all lost. You pick up on this. Those of you who are sports fans, you know what I'm talking about. Today the Dolphins played the Las Vegas Raiders. And Dolphins fans all over Twitter was, we won. Y'all lost. Charles Barkley just did an interview where he just said, and you heard it clearly, he didn't stutter, y'all lost. So did Charles Barkley quietly become a Trump voter? I don't know. None of us will ever know unless he comes out and says it. But I think he made a non-Freudian slip, because that's probably what he did. That's probably what he did. I would have to call him out at this point. And then you get the next one. The Clown Prince of ESPN, who I've done many videos about. And I told you guys a long time ago, he could come on and say whatever he wanted to appease the bosses at ESPN and his, colleagues. But I always felt that Stephen A. Smith, once he closed the booth or wherever he did his secret ballot, that he was going to vote for Trump. I mean, he was all over Hannity and all over all kinds of talk shows. In addition to his sports show, he didn't really mention that. He played the game over there. He talked his black. He went in his black accent. Ooh, yeah, he did all that. But then again, over here, on his own show and on Hannity, it didn't sound that way. So after the election, he did a postmortem. He looked at where things were going. Listen to what he had to say.
All these celebrities, Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce, Oprah.
If we don't show up tomorrow, it is entirely possible that we will not have the opportunity to ever cast a ballot again.
You're going to look an audience in the face and you're going to tell them that if you vote for Donald Trump, you may not ever be able to cast a vote again. Who believed that? Who believed that coming from Oprah? Truly, who believed that? This is the kind of stuff that alienates an electorate, that alienates a vote or a voter. Because the freedom that you tell them they have.
And again, why are you saying this now, Stephen? You were all over YouTube. You were all over Hannity talking about Kamala and Trump is bad and this and that and the other thing. And now after the election, you're telling the Kamala team, y'all played the game wrong. Why are you guys all now doing your postmortems and telling everybody they did it wrong? They did it wrong. He didn't say we. Again, it's a sports guy. I know that may seem splitting hairs to you, many of you who aren't into the sports world, but you usually own your team, the company you keep. We're going to do it this way. We're going to do it that way. Y'all stunk up the joint, and you're making me look bad. I can't have that. If you looked at his vernacular, that's what he's saying. He's calling Oprah out to her face. He's telling Kamala, Jennifer Lopez, you did all this, what? Funny. Now you guys are going to say that. But where were you, a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago? You were all in. Well, you weren't all in. The people looked behind the scenes. They could tell some of the stuff you were saying. You were kind of playing the ends against each other. You never went all in on Trump, and you never went all in on Kamala. You kept saying, well, you know who my vote's for. You know I'll never vote for Trump. Then why are you complaining now?
you try to confiscate morally by letting them know you ain't worth a damn unless you vote the way we say you should vote. Who's going to go for that in a general election with an economy rife with inflation, with over 12 million people coming crossing the borders, with people wondering about their dollars, the dollars that they earn, the dollars that they have in their pocket, the value of that dollar dissipating before our very eyes, but in the same breath you're telling them that you got to take even more money out of their pocket to finance immigrants that come all across the border illegally at the behest of the Democratic Party looking to secure a voting bloc. Did you think that would work? Did you think that would work?
Yeah, they thought it would work. Did you tell them that it wouldn't work? You see, I understand what you're saying now. Did you think that would work? Your job as a sports reporter is you, every single day, if you guys don't watch the show, you don't have to, but all you do is critique a team going into a game, and then you critique them coming out of a game. And you have vast opinions. Hey, listen, you should throw the ball more to Fred. Hey, listen, you should hand the ball off more to Joe. You know, you're going to have to watch out for that linebacker because if he gets loose, he's going to clean your clock. All week long. For 2 or 3 hours a day. And then on rerun, you'll say the same thing over and over again. You watch the game films. You watch the games live. You take notes. Anyone who does sportscasting watches the game, probably has 4 or 5 screens in your house. ESPN has made it so much easier now. There's a button. You can watch 4 games at once on one TV. You can cut to the one game, cut back to the other. And you're taking notes. Oh, 11 minutes and 24 seconds, Fred dropped the ball. The whole game turned on that. So after the game, just like you did here, you just told Kamala and the Democrats, you fumbled, you shouldn't have done this, this is what you should have done, and you mentioned some things. You mentioned taxes, you mentioned immigration, you mentioned the economy and inflation. All those things that were going to turn the game. Any one of those things could cause the team to lose because if the other team can exploit that weakness, they're going to win. See, every single day, Monday through Friday at 10:30 in the morning till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you talk about every vulnerability that a team has and could get exposed on. You tell the world. Did you tell Kamala? You know, I know you're verbose, but I'd love to know if you and or Chuck Barkley or anybody else sat down with them and said, you got some vulnerabilities here. If you don't get this part shored up, you're in big trouble. I don't think you did. I know you didn't, because they kept going. So why'd you keep quiet? You probably kept quiet because you wanted your job. You needed the money. Even though you're making $12 million a year or whatever it is, you didn't want to alienate anybody. Same thing with Chuck. But now it's easy because you see all the NFL players starting to do the dance. And you're like, wow, there's a whole lot of people who like this, huh? Yep. Wow, UFC was packed and everybody was doing the dance. Yeah. Wow, there's money over here to be made. I need to shift away from these losers that are shaving their friggin' heads because the people with money who want more disposable money have more disposable income, who want to pay less taxes. Those people are over here and they're like, hey man, Trump won and these people got some cash and I'm Stephen A. Smith, I'm Chuck Barkley. And you're thinking, maybe this audience is more profitable. You see, they understand the numbers. They clearly understand where things are headed. As I said yesterday, when you're talking about somebody in marketing who knows what they're doing, and I got to tell you, Chuck Barkley and Stephen A. Smith may be simps, they may be loudmouths, they may be clowns, but they're also businessmen. And like Wayne Gretzky said, I don't skate to where the puck is. I skate to where the puck is going to be. You see, that's how you gain your advantage in the marketplace, because if you're stuck here and things don't work and you don't plan on where that puck is going to be over there, then you can't pivot. You're stuck. And I will give Stephen A. and Charles Barkley and some other people enough props to let you know they see that puck moving, and they're going to skate to where that puck is going to be, because that's where money is.